what you dream. It's the way that you make those things reality. You see, that's the magic to me. M-I-N-O-T, now you see. Life ain't always just what you dream. It's the way that you make those things reality. You see, that's the magic of me.
Hello, Minot.
Hello, Minot.
So listen, I'm not sure if you guys know who we are. I'm not sure if you guys even know what we did last year.
Right.
However, the reason we're here today is we're reintroducing ourselves and rebranding as a focused podcast that we can actually now
Right.
share with the community.
Yes. Yes. It's basically, if you will, not just downtown Minot, but it's everything around and in Minot.
Yes. So guys, this is the story. Last year, this time, same time last year, we did our first little Facebook Live,
Yes.
and it basically went viral. People loved it. They enjoyed what we talked about. They enjoyed like what we were trying to bring to the table.
Right.
And the next thing you know, we did a second and a third one, but Facebook did not save our videos.
Nope. Fortunately.
We learned.
Yeah.
And then also we got a little busy, and then we realized we were needing a little bit more of a legit setup.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So this gentleman here named Corey Long, which by the way is the co-host, and I'm Christine Staley, the other co-host. We were talking about it, and we still wanted to do this.
Right. And Christine, fortunately, went out there on the World Wide Web, and you found.
No, I didn't find it that way.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm a little savvy. I'm
Okay.
a part of a lot of newsletters.
Sure. Okay.
Not only for grants, but not only
Sure.
for small business, but about commerce, about business, about arts, about music, about everything and anything, guys. And I get a lot of emails in my inbox. And that's why sometimes I say I'm going to clean my inbox. People laugh at me. I have like 3,000 emails at a time. It's crazy.
Okay.
Besides business, we
Yeah,
got that.
yeah.
But there was a grant that I thought would be a perfect fit for this. When I read it, it literally sparked my interest, and I told Corey, I'm going to apply for this grant. And I was so excited
Sure.
that I got everybody on board, which, by the way, you'll start hearing some of the people who've been part of this grant in the first few episodes.
Sure.
Yep. And who made this happen. But the grant is American Express and the Main Street USA in collaboration together, who made this possible.
And where is our studio? Right on Main Street in downtown.
We are
Minot?
right on Main Street. So by design, I mean, without even knowing this was going to happen,
Right.
how apropos is the way to look at it.
Sure. The big words. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which is perfect, which means
Right.
perfectly aligned, I guess.
Perfectly aligned. Right.
Is the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just like us. Like
Yeah.
we met, and I never even knew this guy until he
No.
shows up
So
one day.
I just I'm with the downtown DBA and was just looking to get more of a word out of what's going on downtown. And I heard of Christine before, and I knew where her shop was, and a mutual friend acquaintance, Adam, and I've heard Christine drop before, and I've seen her social media. And you are out there. You really do a great job at advertising your shop here, Magic City Hoagies. That's where we're located.
And sweets.
And sweets, yes. And I knew and I heard before that you've had some time behind a camera.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I thought, what more fitting than having somebody that has time behind a camera to maybe start a podcast? And that's what we did, and we ran with it for
Wait, but let me
Yeah.
interject really quick, guys. He just shows up one day and he's like, "We're going to start a podcast." I'm like, "Who are you?" So I thought that was
Sure.
really funny. The
Yeah.
fact that he was brazen enough to walk in and kind of just say, "I'm so and so. I know so and so. I think this is what we should do." And I'm like, "Okay." But I do have to say that was a pivotal moment for me personally, because I'm not from here. I'm from Miami, guys. I've been here going on 14 years in September.
Sure.
And I've seen this whole city, community, and now downtown, where I'm
Right.
located with the business, evolve and change.
It has
So-
changed.
So
And
yeah.
There's more movement downtown.
But the thing is, I feel like there's conversation that's just not being said. The narrative that's happening between, say, I'm a business owner, you're a person of interest in the community because you do so much behind the scenes. He's Neighbor of the Year award from the
Right.
mayor, guys, which was awesome.
Right.
Congrats.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But I think that like all of these different parts seem to work together. And we also know a whole collection of people that we didn't even know we knew together, let alone separate. So it's only making this venture really fun.
Right.
because we're just hanging out now, and
Hanging out,
talking.
getting to know people,
Yeah,
having an idea of what they, are doing within this community, around this community, and really, it's getting to know what make these people move forward and doing what they do.
I agree with that, but I also agree with there's some really good stories that aren't being told.
Sure.
So let me give an example. There's a couple people who've retired over the past year, even just on Main Street, guys. Betty Fedorchak, who had Esoterica. I think she's a fantastic person. I'd love to hear her story. She had a store here for I don't even know how long. And that's what I'm saying. I know her, but I don't know her. Um,
Sure.
Val Sadik from Main Street Books. There's a really good story there too about a small business that actually ended up becoming selling the business to another person who started with her and now owns it. I'd love to hear her story. Also Oliver Zadik. Those are 3 female businesses that like transitioned and closed or whatever changed. But just stuff like that to me um is really important because if you're going to be moving here to North Dakota or Minot, which I think Minot's the better place out of all the communities, guys. Sorry. You'll want to hear about how these people started, what they're doing, because what I started was very different than when they started. And
So yeah, you're
the
talking about
ecosystem,
yep. You're talking about something that had started maybe in the '70s, and now you started here.
correct.
This is your second location, but I think this is probably a really great location.
Hmm. Well, there's a story behind that too. But I will say this, is that really, guys, at the end of the day, I think I put my resources together, Corey did, and then this grant made it happen. And so I definitely want to say first, start off, we're gonna interview each other first, guys. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because you get to know us first. But I do want to say a shout out first, so I don't forget to Air American Express and Main Street USA. Thank you for this generous grant to let us do this. Second of all, I want to say thank you to Corey Long for bringing this idea, this crazy idea that we actually kind of tried out. Now we're actually moving forward with it. He also, Brent from Voho Builders
Bills. Yep.
helped build out the stage. Dakota Faye, who actually we will be telling you is going to be, he created the music behind and
Right.
opening and closing and the segues. EJ Rose, who decided to create the lovely logo. Well, we created the logo, but he painted the logo. And then Adam Dias, who's behind right now the tech. And then who am I leaving out? Oh, B&H, who helped us with the equipment. Anything else?
I think you nailed all the yeah, and
And then just the community and you guys. We want this to be your place because if there's people you want us to see and whatever, we're gonna thank you too in advance because we need content.
right.
We want to hear what you want to, we want to do whatever you guys want. And I think that's it. Any thanks for you?
No. I think you thanked all the people. Thank you, Christine, for actually keeping this motivated and keeping it going and keeping it, ordering all the stuff and lining up a lot of the people and moving this forward.
Well,
And as you can tell, we're live because there's people walking around right behind us.
yeah. And
So
that's the cool thing about this, guys. One more thing, I'm definitely gonna say pivot one more thing off
Mhm.
that. Thank you to my family, my husband especially, and my staff for allowing me to be crazy and get this together while we're working in the shop
yeah,
open.
there's a lot of a lot of kind of chaos. It kind of gets a little hectic, and that temperatures flare up a little bit. But I think we kept our cool pretty
Hey,
well. Yep.
you know what? It's fine. It's all good.
Yep.
So guys, now we're in, and then I think we're gonna start asking some questions, guys, and then we'll tell you a little bit about Minot
Yep. We'll
after
just
this.
yeah.
So why don't you get started, Corey? Because I'm always the one talking. Well, oh
Sure.
wait, first off, I do have to preface this. When we were pitching this idea to ideas for people when they had to get us their stuff to submit this grant, he kept saying to people, "What do you call us? Who am I and who are you?"
Well, so yeah, it just I guess I grew up with Johnny Carson, and she is the Johnny Carson. I am the Egg McMahon. So she kind of leads the way because you've had props in this industry before. So I am the Egg McMahon.
Yeah, so guys, I
yes.
thought that was cute. And if you
Yeah.
guys don't know who those people are, if you're too young to know,
Yeah.
look them up. Okay, they're legends in interviewing
You're right. Right.
and late night talk
Late night
shows.
talk shows. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
well,
Yep.
listen,
All right.
awesome. So
Yep.
here we begin, guys.
All right. So Christine, you're not from Minot.
Nope.
Where did you grow up, and what was that like?
So I grew up in North Miami Beach, Florida, which is if you've ever been in that region area, we call it South Florida because all the towns are kind of gelled together. You don't even know you're leaving one town to the next.
Sure, they're just
Yeah,
one
they just
after the
blend in. If you
yes.
pass a sign, you're lucky if you see it, you
Right.
know? I grew up in a time during the 80s and 90s where, we were on bikes. It's kind of like Stranger Things in that way.
Sure.
I love Stranger Things,
Right.
by the way. Just a
Yeah.
little
I've heard you talk
plug.
about, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a little homage area over there. So I grew up on my bikes, building tree houses. We grew up by the water,
Hmm.
and it was a bustling city. This was the time, if you saw Miami Vice, it actually was legit. That's exactly what it looked like.
So this is the 80s.
Yes,
Yeah.
80s. And yes, it was a very it wasn't really the Miami that people see today.
Sure.
Miami today is glamorous, beautiful, like luxury, very expensive.
Hmm.
Not that it wasn't then, but different parts of it. But it was really, this is going to be sad to say, people called it like you either wanted to retire or, which I hate to say, the saying they said was called God's waiting room.
Oh,
You
wow.
hang out by the ocean on those chairs and just wait.
Sure.
Or you have people who are creating business and commerce. And yes, there was a lot of drugs going on and a lot of ethnic collaborations with communities that were being relocated, repopulated, like the Cubans and
Sure.
aerial boat lift, all that.
Right.
So when you have all this group dynamic, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens, but then there's a lot of crazy that happens. And I think over the years growing up there was quite dynamic.
Okay.
Plus with the music scene,
Hmm.
Miami rap is a real thing. Miami
Right.
bass is a real
Miami
thing.
base. Yeah.
And also, I would say that the lifestyle of like Palm Beach that you see,
Hmm.
that is real. It's just that you will know the difference when you hit a distinctive area. You will notice, from like Overtown to South Miami, they're very distinctive, like experiences. When
Okay.
you hit a certain like county line, for example,
Sure.
you'll notice a difference too.
There's a difference in,
There's a
yeah.
tri-county area called Palm Beach, Broward County, and Dade, and I grew up in Dade County
Okay.
on the ocean.
So Dade is north, right?
No, Dade is south.
Oh, south. Okay. Okay.
And then you start hitting the Keys, but that's
Sure.
Broward County.
Sure. So what, we talked briefly about this a little earlier, was, what got you into media?
Media. Okay, great question. Well,
Hmm.
when I graduated high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I actually just wanted to graduate high school and work a little bit, get a job, figure out what I wanted to do, find out who I was first. My friends used to say to me, "Well, you're never going to go to school." And I'm like, "Well, you guys don't know me.
Right.
I do what I want to
So
do."
this was in high school.
This was in high school.
Right.
They were
Right.
like, "Oh, I'm going to this university. I'm going to this." And I was like, "I get it."
Right.
I said, "I just don't know yet." I said, "I think I just want to like have some fun and make some money." And I'm
Sure.
actually really glad I did that when I did, because that really set me on a path of putting myself in a focused direction then. Because when I did decide to go to school, which is only about maybe a year and a half later,
Sure.
I really wanted to go to school and I
Yep.
killed it. I did really well.
So that would have been in the mid 90s,
Late 90s.
late 90s. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I ended up going to school later. And then when I was in school, I discovered theater. And I never really thought theater was something I would do.
Sure.
I can dance. I
Okay.
didn't know I can act, but I cannot sing. I wish I could sing, guys. That's
Right.
not one. I'm not a triple threat. Not that. I wish I was. But I ended up taking a couple classes and I fell in love with it. And I loved the energy behind it. I loved the fact that I can like interact with someone in a different level than just hanging out,
Sure.
talking. And I decided to go to school to New York for that.
Okay.
So I went to a conservatory program and ended up doing that. And then when I finished that
Were you in the
after,
city?
yes, I was in New York City. Actually, I
Yeah.
moved there September 1st,
Okay.
2001,
Oh, wow. Okay.
right before September
Oh,
11th.
wow.
And
Okay.
classes start on the 17th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was a very
Okay.
interesting time. Well, you know what? You just don't know what you're gonna walk into. You just kind of
Sure.
have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Um, but I will tell you, it was a growing experience. I feel like I got way more out of living in New York City than even in college. I don't know what it was. It was a very dynamic time in my
Sure.
life, I would say. And then I went back to school, and I went back to school for TV production.
Okay.
And then that's where you're talking about. So I've done some theater, I've done some film, and I've done some TV. And I ended up working behind the camera in the studio. I
Okay.
also did some sales for TV. And then I loved it, but then I always loved food.
Sure.
I always loved food. And then when my husband got the opportunity to relocate up here,
Kind of interesting when you stepped off the plane. You've told me this before,
mhm,
and you seen basically coming
it was
from
at night.
at night coming from
And
the airport.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
reminded me of driving through LA,
Okay.
like in the
In the
mountains.
hills. Yeah.
Yeah, in the hills, just like in like a small snippet of it, but it just like hit me like that.
Hmm.
And then I got to know the town for like, I don't know, 3 days I was here. It was during
10.
2013,
Yeah.
the week of the fair.
The week of the fair. Okay.
Yeah.
What a crazy time to hit it
Oh
up.
my
Right.
goodness. Yeah, it was crazy and busy. And then that
So that
was
would have been the heart of the
July.
oil boom kind of
Yep,
going on too. So a lot of traffic,
correct.
right?
And then by that point, we moved here September 6th, and my husband started his job on the 9th.
Okay.
We drove cross country with my little girl and him.
Okay.
Took a week, and then
Sure.
we never left. We love it.
Sure.
And that's my story, really.
Yeah. 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 It's so what I guess you decided to open up or basically open up your hoagie shop.
Yep.
And
Yep. And it started about a year later. I saw an opportunity, didn't know a soul, didn't have any family here, and then I decided to just go with it. I said this might be my one chance. I just felt like it was right.
sure.
I didn't know what I was doing,
Sure.
but everything aligned right, and I think that that's really what happens is that when something's right, it'll open up the doors and you just hit that thing called the flow state
Right.
and you just go and everything seemed to just start working. It took me about 2 years to really establish what I was doing, and then by the 3rd year is when we took off.
Sure. What's your favorite hoagie?
Gosh. Um, I would say if I have to go with one, it would probably be the zesty.
Yep. That's mine. Yep. Yep.
Yet
Yep.
I love my roast beef.
Sure.
So if I'm just hungry and I need to eat something quick, it'll be roast beef.
Sure.
Just
Okay.
quick go to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's it. And how about you, Corey? Tell me your story really brief because I have
Um.
lots of questions.
Right.
Excited. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to rush.
Yeah. Yeah. I just I grew up here in Minot. Born and raised. Grew up on the southeast side. Went to Sunnyside. Well, actually, I went to St. Leo's one year. Right around the corner. And then I was born and raised here. My dad worked right up the street at Trinity, the ER, if you will, the operating room. Was a scrub tech. My mom grew up in a pretty good home, and
Only child?
only child. I had a plethora of friends with growing up. Had a pretty good childhood, and really, after high school, I moved to Fargo Moorhead, went to
Mm.
school there, tried college out twice. And I got dirty, and what I mean by that is I got into construction, got into dirt work, and I did that, and met my wife out in the Fargo Moorhead area, moved back here right before the flood. Actually, it was a flood in Fargo in 2010, and then I moved here in between that, and had a flood here in 2011. Right.
You never told me that.
Yeah, yeah. So then,
Oh,
yeah, so I fought both floods, and my wife and I moved up here. Actually, lived a half a block from here. We got an apartment like right behind you up here, and moved back and started a family. And I live in Granville, and I love Granville. I love this. I love Minot, but I love the whole community around here.
tell us
So,
about your brief stint of something there in
well, I was the mayor. I was Granville for a period of time, and I was on the city council too there, and that was a really enriching experience. It was interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and one thing I do have an understanding of how that the small towns to this town, how the politics work a little bit, and have an understanding of the policy and procedure and all that stuff. But this podcast is not about politics. This
No,
is
no, no, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
But what's cool about that is that
yeah,
I come from a big city and I know about how like big cities
sure,
work and you know about how small cities. So it's actually like a really interesting
right,
like perspective for both of our
right,
views
sure,
because we come from different kind of situations.
right,
I think that's what makes us unique.
yes, yes,
I'm
yeah,
an outsider looking in, even though I know I feel like this is my home now, but
right,
still I see things differently in that sense. It's not a negative connotation, guys.
right,
It's
right,
just I see things differently.
sure, sure, yeah,
And you see the dynamics. And I love
yeah,
that because when we talk, sometimes we don't see eye to eye. And I've
yeah,
I've gotten to that point. I'm like, okay, well, let me see what your point of view is and mine. And then we try
right,
to come to at least a understanding.
sure,
It's not always right or wrong. It's never about that. It's
right,
about what do we both see? What do we
right,
take away from it
right,
and learn from it?
right. So yeah, I just, I was, like I said, I was born and raised here. I love Minot. I love the Magic City. I love the small communities that are around this. I guess, right now, I guess, moving forward, I just like to be involved in different ways. And it's easy to sit back and complain about something, but let's actually to move forward and to help a community out.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what this podcast really helps ground it in.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think some people don't have information at their fingertips, so they don't know how to make decisions. So I think right now this is what we're just doing. We're just doing an introduction, guys, about who we are, what we're doing,
mhm,
and then also, if you guys have any questions or any recommendations of something you want to see. I mean, we have ideas,
Right.
but I mean, please, we're open and welcome to that.
Right.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
and
So,
and I think we're both invested in different ways, and I think that's the crux of like what makes us unique now.
right.
It's perfect timing for where we are moving forward with Minot.
Right.
So, okay, well, you want me to ask the next question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I feel like you already answered this question.
Okay.
It was like, why the podcast with me, what
Sure. Yeah. It just like I said, it was just the story that you have, that what I saw was like it'd be nice to have somebody that has done this and has an idea. And you have done this and you've had plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it just made sense to me. And like I said, you are you're well versed in all this. You went to college for it. You have the chops. I mean, you have the history behind the camera, setting up. You know all this stuff. So to me, it was just an obvious fit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let me segue into the other question then, because we
Mhm.
kind of already addressed it then. What do you believe community means to you?
Well, community means to me is that sometimes you need to be part and help build, and I mean it's easy to sit back and complain about something, but it actually takes motivation, and you have to see the vision all the way through, and you have to help build that. I mean, let's take for instance, we lost the host fest. So I saw something blurb up, if you will, on social media, somebody looking for help on, storing some items or whatever, and it was the Fjords Fest. And the Amber from Bismarck is actually helping uplift this. So I just said, well,
Fantastic.
yeah. So I just said, well, I just extended my hand out and I said, well, hey, let's maybe find some place for you to store this stuff or whatever, and maybe introduce you to some people around here. And that's exactly what I did. I just showed her a few places, whatever, and just try to, to build
So
something back
you
up.
initiated the reach out is basically what you're
Yes.
trying to
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
everybody. So if you see something, guys, that I guess I'm just throwing this out there
Right.
that you might want to be a part of, reach out to someone,
Right.
right?
Let it be a camera club to, hey, if you want to be part of the Minor Fireworks Association, I'm part of that too. On the
You don't
4th of
have to be
July.
a part of a group. Yeah, you don't have
Yes.
to be part of an organization to
Right.
volunteer, to
Yes.
try to
To
help, to
volunteer,
see
to
where
help
you
out.
fit.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. No,
Just
I love that.
take the motivation and actually, it's like I said, it's to do something constructive.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting back complaining about something, move forward and help the community out, help build them up, help.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your question for me? Give me a good one.
Um. So what keeps you grounded in moving forward, if you will, moving forward with with what you do and have done. You've done many different things that people have maybe not know about. Like for instance, you helped during COVID. You helped feed people.
Oh, yeah, 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 the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah,
Yes.
the elementary school kids.
Right.
So what keeps me motivated to keep me moving forward with all the things I do? Is that the
Yeah.
question?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, when I came from a big community, I
Mhm.
didn't see actions real time. You might have read about them maybe months later. There's so much going on in a bigger community that you get distracted. And
Right.
and I'm not talking about because of cell phones. I'm not talking about social media, guys. I'm talking, there's just so many moving parts and there's so much going on and there's so much happening. There's so many people put into one space. So you don't even know where you fit. Not that you don't have a group you can hang out with, but you
Sure.
don't know where you can find your joy in
Right.
like helping out or finding that community. So for me, when I moved here, I knew like the first thing I realized, when I go to a place, whenever even I travel, back in the day, they used to have like magazines that would be sitting out in front
Right.
of like the stores, the businesses, wherever you went. And I used to always, I literally have boxes of stuff
Right.
that I just about what the communities are. When I was in New York City, it was the same thing. It's like you want to know what's happening, what's the pulse. And some of it's ads, but then some of it's really good digestible stuff. You're like, wow, I didn't know that was happening. But you have to have that knack to pay attention to things like that. And I have a really good focus on that. So what keeps me motivated is seeing now how Minot has gotten better throughout the years and it's evolved to this. It's quite a dynamic community
Sure.
now.
You've
Like,
been you've been here for more than a decade.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I've seen the change. I
Right.
mean, yes, there's you could always judge and whatever, but I mean, if you look about pushing the needle forward, overall, you have to see that. We're getting way more people here and we're getting people who want to stay here and build a community, who want to have a family here, who are looking for a better opportunity through jobs,
Right.
whatever it may be. But some people don't know that that's there. So for me, every day I strive to just, of course, my business, I want it to succeed. But again, success looks different in different people. I
Sure.
just want to stay open at some point, if we're not, you know,
Right.
being busy, at least we're keeping people
Sure.
on my staff. I don't have to let someone go. That
Right.
to me is success
Right.
versus like, oh, how much do I have in the bank? But I
Sure.
will say that when you have people coming in every day, they're coming from Canada, they're coming from all over different states. They're just here for a trip or like just this, past weekend, we had graduation parties and things like that. So my point is, I think what it really comes down to is you get all these people combined. I want to make sure that I could see them. What are they looking at? What do they need? So
Sure.
I see opportunities, and that's how I try to connect. That's what keeps me motivated
Right.
because I know later on I'm going to still be part of this community, and I want to see where I fit later too.
Right. And I liked how you put that. Is it's finding kind of almost, if you will, your tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's pretty important. Is
yeah,
to find those people that you connect with, that you relate with, that that you move forward with.
yeah.
And you just basically want to, move forward and try to not basically inspire yourself to progress forward.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how do you find that? And so, like,
Okay.
for example, I have over here on our table, I have quite a few magazines. I don't even know if a lot of people even know about these. It's hard to see, but
Mhm.
here, I'll grab a couple. So there's this woman here in town who created, it's edible North Dakota. This is fantastic. There's a lot of magazines you guys could pick, but like this was her first launch one. Her name is Melinda Goodman. And let me tell you, she's got quite the story. I actually met her not too long ago at a Women Connects situation, which is another thing I could tell you about. But I mean, look, these pictures were taken at Prairie Sky Breads, but there's all about different things about, tradition of things that people do around the whole state. This is really cool. And then her newer one, this one I love actually. This is about celebrating the taste of belonging. What a
Right.
great thing. It's talking about, just farms and how to find food, about eggs. I mean, just businesses, Miss T Tangles. Just this is really neat. And I'm telling you this, the reason I show you this is because I have this in my shop, but some people don't even know. If
Right.
you're a mom and you're looking to find out if you're baking and stuff, like that's awesome. I hand
Yeah,
it to
and maybe
someone.
even check out, visit Minot as a good resource on the social media
Yeah.
page.
Exactly, and that's like, mineoutevents.com, I think is
Right.
their
Yeah. Yep.
website,
Yeah.
but then that one I give out to people, especially new Air Force
Sure.
people and people relocating here.
Right.
This one is really neat, guys. If you have kids, I don't know if you know, but the Minot Parks comes out with this every single, year, and it's, like, literally spring and summer about everything what you could do with your kids all year round. Um, I know that, for example, Amy Allender from Hey Minot,
Okay.
who I know, she talks about that, and
Mhm.
but this is the actual physical version of it.
Right.
I will tell you stuff like that is when you realize the connection, there's stuff there, but you have to identify with it and say, "Hey,
Right.
that's a need I have. Where do I get that now?" So
Right.
those kinds of resources are there. And by the way, I got all of those, most of those, not the edible, but at Visit Minot, guys. And if you have not been to the Visit Minot Scandinavian
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park, but the actual
Mm.
building, they have
It's pretty cool in there.
Pride of Dakota
Right.
stuff,
Yes.
and they have everything there. Yeah, that place is a wealth of information, and hopefully you could
And the
find out what's
staff
going
there,
on.
well, I mean, if you have an idea or just want to, talk to somebody there about maybe something like kind of what's going on, their staff there is really great.
Yeah,
They're
they're an
really helpful.
asset for
Yes.
the community and to
Yeah.
be so close. That's the one thing I will say about knowing about the Minot community. Everything is very close, so you're not far away from something.
Right.
You just have to have a need and a want to go talk to someone and find out something and have a question.
Yeah.
And they're really helpful, everybody.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's relatively it. I mean, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I think I would also say that this is our kickoff of our 250th anniversary of our
Right.
community, like the whole country
Cool.
community.
Yeah.
And because I look at the country as our community in a
Mhm.
way, that's the way I see it. But then also Minot's 140 years. Did you know this?
I didn't know it until you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until I was doing some research for a
Right.
grant.
Okay.
And I said, oh my goodness. So if it wasn't for 140 years of Minot, guys, we wouldn't be here today.
Right.
And I don't even know what to say. So happy birthday, Minot, in July
Right.
as
Right.
well.
Right. Right.
And yeah, so we just look forward to this podcast. We'll
Mhm.
see how it goes. And we thank you guys and everyone who's helped us get this together. I hope you got some background on us. And if you want to know more about who we are,
Yeah, reach out to us. Yeah, just feel free to, let it be stop in the shop even.
yeah,
Yeah.
stop in the shop.
Yeah.
And then this is an evolving project. So
Right.
if there's any pointers, you guys feel free to let us know.
Right.
And then interviews, anybody else you want to hear about or hear from. And yeah, anything else, guys? Otherwise, we're looking forward to this. And we will have all of our posts sent out to all of the traditional places, but also hopefully posted on social media as well.
Yep.
But just, stay posted and don't
Like
miss
and
it,
share.
Yeah, like and share, please, and subscribe if we can, because I think that's huge.
Right.
Because this podcast, by the way, I think is going to help not just us in Minot, the surrounding communities, but I'm hoping at some point we stretch over the whole state, because it would be really neat to show how small North Dakota really is. I know that sounds odd, but remember, we don't even have 1 million people here.
Right.
I come from a town of
Just
millions.
A million. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you guys. Corey, thanks for being here, and
Yep.
thanks
Thank
for
you. Thank you. Christine.
sharing with
Yes.
this like crazy idea that you brought to our
Right.
attention. And
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, well, you take care. Have a great summer. Be safe, and look out for our first interview. And I'll give you a sneak peek. Who is it with?
Well, we live in North Dakota, right?
Yes.
And his name would be Dakota.
Okay, guys, you might have an idea who that's going to be.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'll say it, Dakota Faye, or better known as Dakota Poitras. I don't know. We'll
Right.
figure that
We'll
out when
figure
we
that,
have the
yes.
interview,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
It's a really funny thing.
Yes.
But anyway, he has a story about that, I heard.
I heard that.
Yeah, he's
yes.
excited to
Yes.
tell it,
Yeah,
too.
I think he is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much, and we'll be back, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, Minot.
You see, that's the magic to me. Minot. Now you see, life ain't always just what you dream. It's the way that